Welcome, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Breathe. Just you, the breath, and the breakthrough. I'm your host, Farron Winter, and this is a space where we slow down, soften, and reconnect with the wisdom that already exists within us. Because the breath is more than something we do. It is a doorway into the body, a doorway into the present moment, a doorway into the parts of ourselves that have been waiting patiently to be remembered. And sometimes, the greatest breakthrough is not found in becoming someone new. Sometimes the greatest breakthrough is found in coming home to who we have always been. Today we're exploring something that may feel a little different. We're talking about the breath as an act of defiance. Now, when we hear the word defiance, we may think of resistance. We may think of fighting. We may think of rebellion. But the kind of defiance we're exploring today is different. It is quiet. It is intentional. It is deeply personal. It is the moment we decide we are no longer willing to abandon ourselves just to fit into someone else's idea of who we should be. It is choosing to breathe fully when we have spent years holding ourselves back. It is choosing to take up space when we have spent years trying to disappear. It is choosing to honor who we are, even when the world has told us who we should become. Because sometimes the most courageous thing we can do is stop trying to become acceptable and finally allow ourselves to be authentic. So wherever you are today, I invite you to take a breath with me. A slow inhale, a gentle exhale. Allow yourself to arrive. Allow yourself to be here, because this moment belongs to you. Before we go deeper, I would like to offer a moment of care. If you are currently driving or operating machinery, please save this deep internal work for when you can safely settle in and close your eyes. Your safety is the first step towards your peace. Because conversations about identity, belonging, and reclaiming ourselves can touch some very tender places within us. Many of us have spent years learning how to adapt, how to adjust, how to become what we believed would make us safer, how to become what we believed would make us easier to love. And I want to acknowledge something important. Those versions of ourselves were created for a reason. The parts of you that learned to stay quiet, the parts of you that learned to please, the parts of you that learned to hide. They are not failures. They are protectors. They were doing the best they could with what they knew at the time. So today, As we explore coming home to ourselves, I invite you to meet every part of yourself with compassion. This is not about rejecting who you are. It is about honoring everything that brought you to this point. It is about gently making space for the parts of you that are ready to be seen. Take a breath. Feel your feet beneath you. Feel yourself supported. And remember, you are allowed to meet yourself exactly where you are. Let's begin by addressing the breath we hold. When we think about holding our breath, most of us think about a physical experience. That moment when we're anxious, that moment when we're waiting, that moment when your body instinctively braces. But there is another way that we hold our breath. We hold our breath when we hold ourselves back. We hold our breath when we silence our own voice. We hold our breath when we ignore our own needs. We hold our breath when we make ourselves smaller so someone else doesn't feel uncomfortable. We hold our breath when we hide our joy. We hold our breath when we convince ourselves that who we are is somehow too much, too emotional, too sensitive, too passionate, too different, too complicated, too much. And over time, we can forget that we were never meant to live that way. We were never meant to constantly edit ourselves. We were never meant to shrink ourselves down into something easier for others to accept. Somewhere along the way, many of us learned that belonging meant changing ourselves. But what if belonging was never about becoming someone different? What if true belonging begins with returning to ourselves? Before we ever decided who we wanted to become, we were handed stories. Stories about success, stories about beauty, stories about worth, stories about what makes someone valuable, stories about what makes someone lovable. And some of those stories may have guided us, but some of them were never ours to carry. Maybe you were taught that rest had to be earned. Maybe you were taught that your emotions were inconvenient. Maybe you were taught that your dreams needed to be smaller. Maybe you were taught that being accepted meant being less of yourself. And when we live inside those stories long enough, they begin to feel like truth. But a story you learned is not always a truth you have to keep. The breath gives us a way back into the body, a way back into our intuition, a way back into the parts of ourselves we may have left behind. Now let's take a look at the breath as an act of defiance. Every intentional breath is a choice. A choice to return, a choice to reconnect, a choice to listen. When we breathe consciously, we step away from autopilot. We step away from constantly performing, and we come back into relationship with ourselves. The body has been carrying our truth all along. Your shoulders know when you have carried too much. Your jaw knows when you've held back words. Your chest knows when you have been afraid to be seen. Your breath knows when you have been disconnected from yourself. And every time you choose to breathe deeply, you remind yourself, I am here. I belong here. I am allowed to fully exist. The world may have taught you to shrink, but your breath has always known how to expand. There is a difference between becoming your best self and becoming your authentic self. Because sometimes the pursuit of becoming our best self comes from the belief that who we are right now is not enough. Authenticity begins somewhere different. Authenticity begins with acceptance. It begins with saying, I am worthy of meeting myself. The qualities you were told were flaws may actually be your gifts. Your sensitivity may be your ability to feel deeply. Your emotions may be your connection to your inner wisdom. Your differences may be the very things that allow you to see the world anew. Your story is not something you have to hide. Your story is something you are allowed to honor. So now the question becomes this. It is not, how do I become someone worthy? But it becomes, what parts of myself am I already embracing? What parts of myself am I ready to stop abandoning? Let's move in to our somatic practice, the breath of defiance. Root, expand, rise. For this practice, I invite you to find a position where you feel grounded and supported. You can be seated. You can be standing. Either way, allow your feet to connect with the earth beneath you. Invite a deep breath in and lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, allow your shoulders to soften and relax. Place one hand over your heart. Place one hand over your belly. Take a moment to notice yourself. Notice your body. Notice your breath. Notice that you are here, and that alone is powerful. Today we will practice a 3-part breath. A breath that reminds the body, I am here. I am allowed to take up space. I am allowed to be fully myself. Begin by inhaling into your lower belly. Feel the breath moving down through your body. Feel yourself grounded, connected, supported. As you inhale, silently repeat, I am here. Pause gently and softly exhale. Now inhale again, allowing the breath to move from the belly into the ribs. Feel the sides of your body expand and create space. Open. As you inhale, silently repeat, I take up space. Give yourself a gentle pause. And exhale. Now inhale once more, allowing the breath to move from the ribs into the upper chest. Feel yourself lift. Feel your presence. Feel the fullness of who you are. As you inhale, silently repeat, I honor who I am. Pause gently and exhale completely. Now we bring these 3 parts together. We are teaching the body to root, expand, and rise. Inhale into the belly. I am here. Continue inhaling into the ribs. I take up space. Continue inhaling into the heart. I honor who I am. Pause. And exhale. I release who I was told to be. Again. Inhale. I am here. I take up space. I honor who I am. Exhale. I release who I was told to be. Take 2 more rounds of this style of breath at your own pace. Allow your breath to become your declaration. Not a fight, not a performance, a remembering. Continue. Allow your body to return to a natural rhythm for your breath. And as it takes over, simply notice how your body chooses to breathe without any prompting. Let that breath settle back into your body. into the soles of your feet. I'd like to leave you today with a final note of care. As you move forward from this episode, remember, choosing yourself does not mean you stop caring about others. It does not mean you stop loving. It does not mean you stop showing compassion. It simply means you include yourself in that compassion. Reclaiming yourself is not always a dramatic moment. Sometimes it looks like saying no. Sometimes it looks like resting. Sometimes it looks like allowing yourself to be proud of the parts of yourself you once hid. Your healing does not require you to become someone else. It invites you to return to yourself, one breath at a time. If this episode met you where you are today, I'd be so grateful if you would follow the podcast, leave a review, or share it with someone who could use this reminder. Every share helps this community grow and helps these conversations reach someone who may be searching for exactly this kind of support. If you'd like to continue practicing with me throughout the week, you'll find the links to my newsletter, guided offerings, and my somatic journal in the stillness at farronwinter.com/links or in the show notes. Remember, your breath has always been yours. Before the expectations, before the labels, before the moments when you learned to make yourself smaller, there has always been a part of you that knew the way home. And every breath is an invitation to return. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Thank you for allowing yourself to pause, to breathe, and to reconnect with the wisdom that already exists within you. Until our next breath together, embrace your defiance, and I'll meet you in the stillness.